All right, we are live.
It's all rise for the pledge, please.
Yeah, right.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We move in silence as we contemplate tonight's legislation. Thank you.
Recording in progress.
All right. Ready for me?
Can you hear me? Okay, so we're just starting the meeting. Can you hang on for 2 minutes?
Yep, no worries. I'll go on mute and I'll, Gary's got to jump in here anyways.
All right, thank you.
You bet.
Ready?
All right, Julie, roll call, please.
Dr. Fellner,
Here.
Mr. Brown,
Here.
Mr. Gribble,
Here.
Mr. Richard,
Here.
Mr. Strickler,
Here.
Mr. Watkins,
Here.
Mr. Weber, Mr. Woodmansey.
Here.
Mr. Weber gave us advance notice that he wouldn't be here. I'd like a motion to excuse him.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Watson,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Strickler. All in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Weber is excused.
Okay, all right.
There.
Mayor Satterfield,
Present.
Auditor Wade,
Here.
Director of Law Bear,
Here.
Treasurer Pittman,
Here.
Safety Service Director Ward.
Here.
All right, first on the agenda is the approval of the February 24th, 2026 minutes. Any questions, additions, corrections? If not, I'd like a motion to accept. Mr. Gribble makes the motion and Mr. Strickler seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries and the minutes are approved. Second item is the agenda. We've got several items to add. First is item B, ordinance 2026-15. I'd like a motion to add it to the agenda. Mr. Watkins makes the motion. Mr. Richard seconds. Roll call.
Mr. Brown,
Yes.
Mr. Gribble,
Yes.
Mr. Richard,
Yes.
Mr. Strickler,
Yes.
Mr. Watkins,
Yes.
Mr. Woodmansey.
Yes.
Motion carries, and item B is added to the agenda. Next is item C, ordinance 2026-16. Need a motion to add it. Mr. Richard? Oh,
Well, before we do that, Mr. President, do we need to make the change on the printed agenda because you have 2026
Oh, yeah, it's all right. That's just a,
typo?
yeah, just,
Okay.
I'm sorry,
I
yeah,
just wanted to make sure.
yeah,
Okay.
so.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to add ordinance 2026-16 to the agenda.
Mr. Richard makes the motion. Mr. Strickler seconds. All in favor?
Oh, no,
Oh,
oops.
roll call.
Mr. Brown,
Yes.
Mr. Gribble,
Yes.
Mr. Richard,
Yes.
Mr. Strickler,
Yes.
Mr. Watkins,
Yes.
Mr. Woodmansey.
Yes.
Motion carries, and item C is added to the agenda. Next is item D, ordinance 2026-17. We need a motion to add it. Mr. Watkins makes the motion, and Mr. Brown seconds. Roll call.
Mr. Brown,
Yes.
Mr. Gribble,
Yes.
Mr. Richard,
Yes.
Mr. Strickler,
Yes.
Mr. Watkins,
Yes.
Mr. Woodmansey.
Yes.
Ordinance vote carries, and item D is added. Next is item E, ordinance 2026-18 to the agenda. Mr. Gribble makes the motion. Mr. Strickler seconds. Roll call.
Mr. Brown,
Yes.
Mr. Gribble,
Yes.
Mr. Richard,
Yes.
Mr. Strickler,
Yes.
Mr. Watkins,
Yes.
Mr. Woodmansey.
Yes.
Motion carries. And item E is added to the agenda. Now I need a motion to.
10.
Oh,
There's
we got
another,
one more?
yeah, sorry.
H.
H, okay. We need a motion to have resolution number 2026-10 added to the agenda.
Make the motion.
Mr. Strickler makes the motion, Mr. Brown seconds. Roll call?
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Gribble?
Yes.
Mr. Richard?
Yes.
Mr. Strickler?
Yes.
Mr. Watkins?
Yes.
Mr. Woodmansey?
Motion carries and item H is added. Now we need a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
I'd like to make a motion.
Mr. Watkins makes the motion. Mr. Gribble seconds. Roll call?
Oh, no, that's all in favor, sorry.
Oh. All in
Sorry.
favor?
Aye.
Motion carries and the amended agenda is approved. I've got two citizens wishing to address council. Ms. Walters.
Good evening, I'm Barb Walters. Some of the citizens have been asking about the bank on the southeast corner, what they're going to be doing with that. I know there were like 5 men several months ago cleaning it out with shovels. Does anybody know what's coming in there? And this,
I think the old US Bank,
uh-huh,
supposed to be a restaurant, but I don't know where they're at with that.
so no information right now.
They'll follow up, yeah.
Okay, and the second thing is on Columbus Street, all the way down to Atwood, in the evergreen trees there that are very, very tall, there's a house hidden. Does anybody own that property or does Galion own it? Well, several years ago, this question was asked about the house. And they said that a man in Crestline owned it. They did not give us a name. And they said that he was paid up on his taxes. And that house is crumbling. Hidden with the trees, but it's crumbling. And I didn't know if it could be taken down or what the progress was with it. Because like I said, it's been several years ago that we were told that.
Talking about the one on the corner?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
The big one. Yeah. Well, that's it. Thank you.
Louise.
Louise Grucci. I am just here to follow up on my last visit with you people to find out any details regarding fixing the street, the Hardingway Street east going out, because it's like a bumpy roller coaster all the way in and out. I also am following up on what you have found, if anything, on the tractor trailer mess that's piling up down at the old Kobe building.
I think he's been following up with Mr. Baldinger, and he's trying to get a hold of the owner down there to talk about that and advise them that they need to get a fence up around there and try to get that covered up, trying to get them to comply with the ordinances. The paving is gonna be this spring. I mean, it's still winter time, they're not doing anything, so.
And I know that there's one place almost to the light at the end before you would turn to go on to 19, that they've got a metal plate. I know that they're not done with that, but it's a mess. It just,
Understood. I don't disagree, but nobody's doing any road work with that right now, so.
right, and I understand, but it's in the plan that it will be fixed.
Yeah, it's my understanding. Yes.
Thank you. And just another comment. Those trailers are lined up along behind those houses, almost to where First Avenue comes out onto Hardingway. It's that long.
Mhm.
And almost every day when I go by, there's more of them in there. A mess.
Okay.
If I lived there, I'd be pretty unhappy.
But
I understand those houses aren't the nicest houses.
It's got nothing to do with those houses.
But that doesn't
Understand
help
that
those houses.
they are zoned commercial, general,
And I understand that.
okay? So we're working to try to get that side of it rectified.
Thank you.
All right, I think get on for the flock presentation is next.
So I asked Flock after the last meeting if they would give an online presentation, more for Q&A than anything else. Let me see if I can get them on. Can you hear me?
Got you loud and clear. Yes, we can hear you.
All right, now we gotta figure out if we can get the projector to go. We're projecting you up to the screen, you know, Nikki?
No way.
Just heard a fan come on. Come on, Mike. So while we're waiting on this, hopefully the speaker comes on too. I asked Flock to send some representatives, we're doing it by Zoom, to answer any questions council may have regarding the Flock system in the schools. So let's see what we got here. We got projector. Can you guys talk?
Yeah, can you hear us? Are we going through okay?
Yeah, let me see if I can
All
get,
right.
let me see if I can get it too louder. Nope, that's as loud as it's gonna go. Go ahead.
All right, well, I'm a second grade teacher, so I use my teacher voice here to try and get through. Good evening, everybody. My name is Gary McCormick. I'm our public affairs team at Block Safety. I apologize I'm not with you there in person. I actually had another meeting earlier today, or else I'd be there with you. For our public affairs team, I cover the eastern part of the U.S. where I'm based in the great state of Ohio. And would have it no other way. And so really happy to be here tonight with you. And,
Give me a second, guys. Give me a second. We're trying to get the speaker on the.
Take your time.
Yeah. Sorry. One thing you don't want to do is look directly into the light. It's bad. It's really bad. All right, we want to select. Try now.
Can you hear me?
There we go.
That's better.
All right, better now?
Yep, thanks.
All right. Well, did you catch the first part or repeat it?
Please repeat it.
Absolutely. So thank you so much for having me tonight. My name is Kerry McCormick, and I'm on the public affairs team at Block Safety. Apologize I'm not there with you this evening. I had another meeting and down in Florida this evening. But I'm a public affairs person for the Eastern time zone of the U.S. But I am located in the great state of Ohio. I would have it no other way. So I'm based out of Cleveland. And more than happy to be with you tonight and answer any questions that you have as well. TJ, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, thanks, Gary. My name's TJ. Nice to meet you guys. I appreciate you guys being able to allow us to come in and kind of talk with you guys and be able to answer some questions. I'm based out of Minneapolis, originally from South Dakota, in a small town where South Dakota State University is. Been with Flock now for close to a year on the sales side. So I've been working very close with the superintendent as well as chief and mayor to make sure that you guys are set up for success here with Flock.
If I can, guys, I'll start off with a couple of questions that were prominent. I know you can't see me. Hopefully you can hear me. One of the first questions that came up when we talked about before was the matter of public records request with the Flock cameras. Can you address that?
Yeah, so remind me again, I'm sorry, what the question was.
The question was, what is a public record when it comes to the Flock camera system?
Yeah, so just a disclaimer, we can't provide legal advice, but ask you to go to your legal counsel on that. But in Ohio, the data of the license plate reader, so the back of the vehicle, so the license plate readers take a photo of the back of the vehicle, including the license plate and the back of the car, is exempt from public record in the state of Ohio. So you are not able to say, hey, I want to know, any photo that took a photo of a certain license plate, that is exempt from in the state of Ohio's public records rules.
Okay, and I talked with Chief Strange, and this is his understanding, that it is not a public record unless they do a search. So if they don't search anything between 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. tonight, any car that goes through there is not a public record because they didn't do a search, a query for any of that.
Yep, so generally, you're not required to produce a new record in order to create a public record. So that is accurate, but again, it is my understanding that in the state of Ohio, photos of the data itself, the photos are not public record for any reason.
Okay. How many cameras is the school trying to put up? TJ, you might have that one. Go ahead. Either
Yeah, I
one.
can answer that one. It's gonna be 3 license plate readers paired with 3 live videos overlooking intersections.
Okay. So the license plate readers are watching the vehicles going into the school, and the live feeds are doing what?
Live feeds are catching 24/7 video of different intersections. They're on the same exact pole of those LPRs of the license plate readers to just ensure that the traffic and anything in that view is being caught and monitored 24/7.
Okay, so for everyone to know, what the cameras are going, one at Heisey Park at the light, one over at, on Carter Drive at Arby's, and the third one is the back entrance off of Hesby. Yes, so that the live feeds are on the intersections, the crosswalks. And it's, they're sitting there and the schools are looking at that for the safety of the pedestrian, of the kids that are walking across the street on all those 3 intersections.
Exactly.
And just, if I may, just a little bit more on the process too. So the photos of the license plate, as well as any recorded video, is saved for 30 days, and then it is hard deleted from the system. And that's important because it allows that to be there. If the police have to go back a couple days or a couple of weeks, they're able to do it. But it hard deletes after 30 days to ensure that that data is not, just sitting out there in perpetuity. So it's kind of a balance between privacy and public safety.
So is this a first in, first out system?
Like a rolling
Yes.
deletion.
Yes. Theoretically,
Yes,
it's,
exactly.
so 31 days from now, the data that happened February the 10th is gone.
Yes, sir.
And the police cannot access it, they can't go back and get it, nor can you. Well,
It's hard deleted. Correct. It is hard deleted.
okay.
So sometimes we'll get a question from an agency that will say, hey, there's a crime 33 days ago, and we have to say, we're sorry, that information has been hard deleted.
Okay. Who has access to the information?
So so this is the school district, TJ, am I correct? So the administrators of the system would have access to the data, and if the district wanted to open up a sharing relationship, they're able to, but it is completely up to you. So, some might say, why would you share? And the reason, some communities choose to share is, let's say there's a missing person or a individual tied to a crime, and they want to collaborate with law enforcement around them to try to find a missing person. That might be an example of when you would share. But the administrator of the system has access to that data, and by default, when you sign up, there are no shared relationships. You all can then determine whether you want to establish shared relationships. But when you sign up, it's only you.
Okay. And I spoke with Dr. Hartman about this as well, and we have a school resource officer, Officer Alsenheimer, that's out there now, and the idea is that if there is stuff that is flagged by the school or a person that is flagged off of this, that he would be the one that gets the alert, not the principal, not the assistant principal. He would get the alert that that's that.
That's right, it's law enforcement.
It's law enforcement would get the alert.
Yep, absolutely, and that's really important. There are, most systems, there are a few people that are trained and certified with the system. All of their activity on the system is logged into perpetuity. So while the data, photos and videos is deleted after 30 days, the nice thing is that there's a permanent audit trail. So you'll be able to look in and see all the activity, any photos that were downloaded, any use of the system, and by who and when is permanently audited for transparency.
I think those were the big highlights that came out of the discussion. You guys have questions?
Yeah, so let's say these cameras, they said they can be searched if there is a search. Let's say middle of the day, someone runs a red light And it's a random search, would the law enforcement or anyone be allowed to do a random search and then say, well, we have to fine you because it's a school zone and you ran a red light?
That's absolutely not what it's for.
So that's not what it's for, okay.
It's not for traffic enforcement, it is not for red lights, it is not for speed detection, it is not for illegal parking.
It is observance.
So the license plate reader, there would have to be criteria, whether it's a warrant, a wanted person, a missing person, an Amber Alert, something like that. It is entered by a different associate or law enforcement agency, or it could be ours, and it would flag that car if it went through the area.
That's exactly right. Law enforcement purposes only, and there is a drop-down menu of eligible offenses that you're able to search on.
It's my understanding that if you guys are familiar with the pending case of Max Sinatra, that part of the way he was tracked at the Canadian border was a flock camera where they flagged him after having murdered his parents. That's the sort of things that pop up.
So the other thing is that the live feeds are not there to watch and see what's going on. It's actually it's going to be an after-the-fact situation. If there's an accident or something like that, or a kid gets hit, one of our students gets hit, or something happens there, they can go back and look at that and get that information. And then you can look for that specific vehicle that did that. But they're not looking for every car that goes through. There's 11,000 cars that go through Portland Way on a daily basis, and it's unless the law enforcement were to create a search, then the data is there, but nobody's looking at it.
So if the law enforcement's not creating a search, and you said the school's going to administer it.
The school is the administrator because they're paying for it, but they have to have law enforcement access to get the data.
Okay, so they can't just search on their own.
That is correct.
Okay.
And that's why it's tied in with the city, because, look, we're talking about a camera or two that might be on city property.
Absolutely.
The schools are doing this anyway. So if we say, no, you can't put it on the light pole at Heisey Park, they're going to go talk to Ralphie's and go 6 feet behind it and put the camera up. Now, they still need the access, they need the law enforcement access to get that data and the flagging. So, and there's also, how many law enforcement agencies or entities across the country?
About 6,000 in 49 out of the 50 states across the country.
All right. So if Arizona puts out a Amber Alert and it's got it in there, and that car goes by Portland Way North, and it hits it, it's going to flag it. It's going to tell Galion PD and Crawford County and everybody else that that this vehicle that they're looking for in Arizona just passed by the intersection.
That's right. And there are many real-life examples of that. Missing senior citizens with cognitive challenges, abducted children. I think that, again, gets into the collaboration between law enforcement. So if that missing child or abducted child, or I'll just use a neutral, were to pass through Columbus, Ohio, out of, Denver, Columbus PD, could assist Denver in, pulling that vehicle over and hopefully recovering that missing person. So that's where the collaborative nature comes into place. And also just a note, if the only reason your law enforcement is alerted is if the plate is tied to a crime or a missing person. So if you're just driving through and your plate is not on a list because you are accused of a crime or a missing person, your PD is not notified.
Talk a little bit about your affiliation or lack thereof with Ring. That was brought up.
Yeah, so, sure, yeah, absolutely. So it was probably four months ago or so, we entered into a partnership with Ring, the home cameras. And essentially the reason we did that is because the cameras on people's houses, if they catch an incident, what happens today is a police officer will go door to door to door physically to say, hi, Mrs. Smith, do you have any footage? There's an incident on your street. And so the partnership was, if there is a incident in the area, and this was on the Ring platform, the law enforcement, you'd have to opt in as a Ring as a customer, as the person that lives there, and then the law enforcement could send you a message that said, hey, an incident happened on your street, would you mind mind sending us any footage you have between 12 and 12:30, you then would say, no, I'm not doing that, or yes, you're right, it's on the footage. So that was on the Ring side. So it was really a way to ask Ring customers if they wanted to share their video footage. Block came into it because it interfaced with our software platform, where police departments that had our products existing could then, after, if the resident gave them permission, they could then send the video to our platform, and the officers could access it there. But it was all, opt-in from the resident, from the customer, and both companies decided to go separate ways. I think about a month ago on that partnership. But that was initially just all opt-in, and it was if an incident happened, the police department could reach out to folks that were in the Ring network and request the footage. But again, you had to opt in to be in that notification, and then you had to agree and send your video as a part of that. But that relationship is no longer in place.
Today's technology, everybody's whiz on the computers and stuff. Talk to us about your security, the security of your system.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks.
Yeah, sure. And I actually, am I able to share my screen?
Yep.
Let me do that. I want to do this. Can you see this slide deck?
Yes. Thank you.
Oh, wonderful. All right, so let me go back here. So just to give you some idea too, and we've already talked about this a little bit, but the community owns 100% of the data, which means you control and own the photos and videos that are taken. And we have private customers, so we work with mom and pop shops and retail. Importantly, as we talked a little bit about earlier, they have no access to police databases, hot lists, anything like that. So something that we really like to clarify with folks. Another important component that we talked about earlier is, and looking at the white left side of your screen, the data deletes after 30 days. It's hard deleted, and it's unrecoverable. And so the 30 days is a balance between public safety and privacy, in the sense that it gives your department enough time that if there is an incident, they can search for that incident, but it also puts a finite period of time on storing that data. Our license plate readers and our cameras, they have no access to person identifiable information, so there's no facial recognition. They don't know the details of any individuals in the car or anything like that. And then we talked earlier about the sharing. So if you choose to share with other agencies, that's completely up to you all. Specific to your question, on the right-hand side, you'll see, flipped over to it, you'll see our data security snapshot of that.
Hey, Jerry, real quick, right about, I think on our end, at least on mine, I'm just seeing the flock safety in Ohio slide.
Correct. Yes.
Oh, what are you saying?
It says flock safety in Ohio, it's got the locations and then the hit run on the right-hand side.
Why did you say my person? Let's see. Shoot. Hold on, sorry about that.
Well, no worries, I figured it, at least.
No, thank you for interrupting. One more time, guys. All right. What do you see now? Do you see the slideshow?
There you go.
There we go.
Do you see the white and the green?
Yep. There's your slide.
All right. Wonderful. All right. So we just kind of reviewed everything on the white on the left-hand side, and then on the right-hand side, it's exactly your question. So Flock is obsessed with cyber and data security, and so all of the servers and systems are heavily certified and stress tested on a regular basis. So they're FBI, NDAA, National Defense Authorization Act, SOC 2 and 3, those are independent stress tests for cybersecurity, and we run those on a regular basis. And so the right-hand side just kind of walks through some of the stress tests and cybersecurity measures that the company takes. We just also brought on a new Chief Information Security Officer who is bringing on an additional third-party auditor to audit all of our systems for security. So they are obsessed with cybersecurity, and that is exactly why our servers, our customers' data, all of that has never been breached, and we want to keep it that way.
Let me ask a question real quick on this screen here on the white side. It was 1, 2, 3, fourth one down. Flock license plate readers have no access to personally identified information. So it sees license plate ABC 1, 2, 3, 4, but it's not telling law enforcement who that is. Law enforcement still has to run that through the state leads database, correct?
Yes, sir, that's exactly right.
So Flock does not have your license plate information. When it sees it, it does not have the information. Law enforcement still has to run that plate, correct?
Just as they would today.
Yes.
The benefit of the tool is the efficiency and the accuracy of identifying individuals that are already up, the plate's already been uploaded because it's tied to a crime or missing person. But yes, correct. The police still have to use existing law enforcement databases that are separate from Flock to run that information, as they would today.
Okay, sorry to interrupt.
No, that's a great thing.
Other questions? Does anybody have questions? Go ahead, Mark.
Say something happens in Columbus, they're an hour away, okay? So will that tell us if that guy goes by with that license plate within 1 hour?
No. It only tells you if Columbus enters the vehicle information into the Flock system and if the vehicle passes through one of our cameras. That is the only information going to be, correct?
And if you agree, and if you agree to share.
If we are agreeable to share with Columbus PD and Columbus PD shares with us, so we would have to give them that access and they would have to give us access to that. Okay?
My question to what you just said is if we agree, is that the school has to make that agreement? Or is that the law enforcement, like our PD's got to make that, or whatever office? Does the school have to initially make that agreement to share the data because they are the owners?
You understand the question?
Yeah, teacher, I believe the answer is yes to that. It would be the contract holder, the administrator, would make that decision.
Okay.
Exactly. And then I'm sure they work hand in hand with Chief Strange to make the choice on which departments and who really they want to share access with and get access from. And then they can go in and literally one by one select the department or select the sheriff's office that they are wanting to share with. And then if they don't want to share with them, they do not have to click their office.
Yeah. And also importantly, you can also unshare. So let's say you get into a sharing relationship with someone and down the road you choose not to continue sharing, you are always free to remove that sharing.
Okay.
What if there was a last second, hey, by chance, can you share that data with us? Can they do it very quickly, or they have to agree to it now, and if something happens tomorrow, they didn't agree to it, but tomorrow something happens, are they able to say, yeah, okay, we'll agree to give you that access? They can make
Yes.
that? Okay.
If it's in the last 30 days.
Okay.
30-day window is key. So let's say you learn of an issue a week after the fact, and you want to know if Columbus, if the plate drove through Columbus. Yes, as long as it's in that 30 days, you could then query Columbus's information from the last 30 days. That's correct.
I think likewise would be is if Columbus had a Amber Alert and they knew that the suspect was in Galion. And we don't have that shared relationship. Columbus could call us and go, hey, can we share access here? And then you look and see if that went through that particular area.
Well, that was kind of why I was asking if the school or if the police department had that availability, because let's say it's Saturday afternoon, they know suspects heading this direction. Do we have that availability to reach out to someone from the school at that point in time? Or can the PD make that quick decision? I didn't know.
We can find that out. I can tell you, and I think Flock would do transparency similar to what Mansfield PD does and give us that kind of a standard of what it is, what it isn't. But in Mansfield PD's transparency, the transparency policy, if you will, is 1 page long. The agencies that they share with is another 8 pages long. So under transparency, you would know who it's being shared with and who that information is with. And that would be part of what we got. Todd?
I think this you can turn those on and off at the administrator's discretion. So you can even say, hey, Columbus, we want to know if a plate has gone through, and then they say yes or no, and then you, in theory, you can immediately turn off the sharing.
Okay.
Now, Columbus might say, what did I do? But, the point is that
If you do a records request of another municipality, let's say from Galion, it's because you're sharing these. That would be the other thing.
Yep, but again, under Ohio law, if you won't be able to, the plate, specific plate information is not a public record. So no agency in the state of Ohio.
Unless there's a search.
But you'd have to have the parameters in that search.
But if there was a search in Columbus and could I go to Galion because they're shared and ask for that record?
No.
Since it's shareable.
No, because, go ahead.
Could you ask them if a plate has gone through their cameras?
Correct.
Yes, and within the 30 days.
Right, I understand.
I think the point is that it's not a public record unless a request has been made to do the search, but then you have to have specific parameters what you're looking. I'm looking for a blue Chevy with a dent on it, with a bumper sticker in the back, starts with ABC. So it's looking for that, and it's going to weed everything else out of that.
May I?
Go ahead.
Revised Code 149.43A1YY specifically reads, it's not a public record. Images and data captured by an automated license plate recognition system that are maintained in a law enforcement database. This is part of the convoluted piece of public records. It goes into YY and double digits of these sections. That one's specifically excluded from the definition of a public record. So if you ask for that image of what a block camera got, we would say that is not a public record under that specific subsection. There may be other things you want to talk about, but that specific thing is specifically excluded. And this is part of why I can't rattle all these off the top of my head because there's such a long list.
Yeah, exactly right. And that pertains to a public record. So that is if John Q. Citizen said, I want to know if someone's plate went through town, that information is not a public record. Now, if the system has to be used for law enforcement purposes, and you have to have a justifiable, you have to state the justified law enforcement purpose. So that is why it has to be law enforcement to law enforcement for a law enforcement purpose. And even then, all of those searches are in the permanent audit law as well to ensure that it's being properly used.
So as an example, a woman thinks her husband is having an affair and thinks she lives on the north end of town and she thinks it's the south end of town and she can't come to the police department or he can't go to the police department to check her. Did this vehicle go through this intersection in the last 2 days? The answer is I can't search that.
That's correct.
Any other questions for these guys?
I just have one point. When we first brought this up, we talked about the cloud security and things like that. So this is a nice slide. It's talking about where the end-to-end encryptions are and where their certifications are. And it's also nice to hear that you're bringing another person on board to audit what you have and add more. So that could address some of the citizens' concerns when it comes to the cloud security.
Absolutely, and we're more than, I say this lovingly, but we've got engineers on our team that can nerd out on this all day and have so, if you do, have anyone that wants to take a deep dive, we've got folks that are happy to do that. We've got a whole team of cybersecurity experts and computer engineers that ensure all of the compliance and security.
We good?
Love it.
Thank you very much.
Guys, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. Thanks for stopping up and seeing us, at least virtually.
Of course. Thank you all. Have a great night.
All right,
Thanks
thank
for
you.
having us, guys. See you guys.
Recording.
I will tell you also The Chief Strange works with Lexipol on his policy and procedure manual. And he's already drafted a policy for the license plate readers. So there is a policy that we're gonna deal with on the license plate readers that dives directly into this realm. I get it. And it's through the schools. It's not the city that's putting these up, it's the schools that are putting these up. And Dr. Hartman specifically said, if anybody has any questions, please stop out there and see if the school board does. They'll have your answers as well. So,
And not to belabor what Josh's point was last time, to clarify, as a city council, we have no control over this at all,
no,
correct?
I can
We're
authorize.
just listening. We can
We're just
authorize-
hearing it all out, just like, you know, everything, and you know, one of the things that I, you know, obviously my wife is a teacher, and the rumor mill had flown, and that wasn't, Dr. Hartman wasn't saying, hey, would you allow me to put flock cameras up and take advantage of all your city property? What he was saying is, I've got them, I'm putting them up. Instead of me putting the pole right here, can I just borrow yours? That's all he was asking for. And of course, things got blown out of proportion as usual, and
There are
That was-
concerns, I get it, there are certain concerns, and it's how far do we want AI technology to go for? I get it. Okay. I think the best thing that I can assure, the best assurance I can give is that this is not a spy technique, this is not if somebody's walking across the street but heaven forbid that the marching band goes from the high school over to the High School Park on a football game and somebody runs through them, this would be able to identify that vehicle. Or a student gets hit by somebody going to and from. It's, you know, we haven't had it. We had the cross-country runner that got struck here 3 years ago. But it's a dangerous intersection. We're crossing a state route. And this is an opportunity for them not only to have that surveillance and protect their students going to and from school, but to protect their students from somebody that should not be on school property from coming on there, and it would flag them. And then it's up to Neil and the PD to respond to that threat. So I thought it was important to follow. I told you I'd pause it. I did talk to Dr. Hartman. He did pause that. And he specifically said, if there are any questions from the community, please stop out to the school board and talk to them, talk to Dr. Hartman about this. So.
thanks for saying
Thank you,
that.
Brian. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
All right, on the legislation, Julie?
Ordinance number 2026-14, entitled Ordinance Amending Sections 1311.03 and 1311.04 of the Galion Codified Ordinances as it pertains to Galion Design Review Districts and the Design Review Boards for same and declaring an emergency.
This is just to adjust from 9 members of design review down to 5 members, so we can get some issues or things taken care of and get this ball rolling. So there's people waiting, businesses waiting for things to move forward.
It also deletes Design Review 3.
Yeah, design review District 3, which is the far main Harding Way west from Jefferson down to Portland Way. So they're not in the district anymore. So that's what this ordinance is for.
Thanks. I think this is good. Maybe
I think due to the importance of,
Okay, I'm sorry. In our previous discussion, Mr. Bear, you sort of suggested that design review decisions might not be, suspended, but would you say that this would be an exception to that?
If I may, and that's actually, I should speak on specifically that. So you have basically 4 things tonight on design review, so rather than repeat myself over and over, right now, design review is not functional. We do not have enough board members, and they can't hold a meeting. These things, this is not the massive change all the rules that I would still strongly say 3 readings. This is to get the board functional, to have enough for a quorum and to meet. If you feel strongly on any one of the candidates, and I'm not going to, I don't have a particularly strong opinion, I'm not going to apply one, look at any one, but I do believe it is better that basically we presented, I believe, 2 things from the mayor in this legislation. One, to get up to possibly 5 members, and B, to change it to 5 members so that this board can function. To that end, I believe this could be done by suspending the rules. And I don't think it's telling the citizens that, hey, we're going to change everything without giving it time for consideration. This is essentially designed to get the board operational, both in the lowering the quorum number and to get enough appointments that you can actually hold a meeting. So I do want to place my normal asterisk. So I've been saying the big changes should be 3 meetings. I think you guys can go through with this, and I don't think it subverts what the community wants. The board's not functioning, there's not enough people. This is a means to get it operating while you guys work. And you have been working on the larger changes, which I do think should have 3 readings.
I think there's one additional change that needs to be noted in this, is that by going from 9 to 5, it also removes the board chair of the BZA from the design review board. So now it would just be 5 members of the community, and the BZA will be its own entity. Yeah, no, he's still, so it's 4 members of the community, has to live in town, has to own property uptown, has to have a vested interest somewhere, and a council member. So that's your 5 members. But the chair of the BZA is no longer on the design review.
With that all being said, and the importance of this so that we can move forward with some things that are sitting out there as we speak and we can hold a meeting, I would like to suspend the rules on ordinance, I had to scroll back up here, 2026-14.
Mr. Woodmansee makes the motion to suspend the rules. Do I hear a second? Mr. Watkins makes the second. Roll call?
Mr. Woodmansee.
Yes.
Mr. Watkins.
Yes.
Mr. Brown.
Yes.
Mr. Gribble.
Yes.
Mr. Richard.
Yes.
Mr. Strickler.
Yes.
Motion carries to suspend the rules. Now we need a motion to pass ordinance 2026-14. Mr. Strickler makes the motion, and Mr. Watkins seconds. Roll call?
Mr. Strickler.
Yes.
Mr. Watkins.
Yes.
Mr. Woodmansee.
Yes.
Mr. Brown.
Yes.
Mr. Gribble.
Yes.
Mr. Richard.
Yes.
Very good. Motion carries, and since this has an emergency clause, it will take effect soon after signature. I should have allowed a little more discussion time in there. Jules, remind me.
Okay.
Next item is ordinance 2026-15. Julie?
Ordinance number 2026-15 entitled Ordinance Clearing Electric Charges Against Various Electric Accounts Paid by the Water and Wastewater Enterprise Funds of the City of Galion and declaring an emergency.
All right, this was voted on the agenda.
Yeah, I'll take this now, maybe get a little bit from Mrs. Wade here, but in 2021, the 2022 budget was passed by this council. And at that time, it was determined and not budgeted to pay the electric from the water and the wastewater back to basically paying the electric rates from the water and the wastewater back to the electric fund. But they still accumulated charges. If you look at these, there are 5 accounts from the water account, and there are 10 accounts from the wastewater. The vast majority of those 10 accounts are lift stations. And what this is doing is just getting them cleared. Since January of 2023 and henceforth, all the electric bills have been paid. But we're carrying a deficit on they're all showing delinquent accounts, and this is just clearing them up and coming true with what council had passed in 2022 for 21 for 22.
Can I make a comment? So what happened was, for many years, the city would give departments a pass on paying their electric bills. And then the city made an effort to put in the budget the departments to pay all their utility bills, and tried to adhere to that, run this more like a business, but it started to deplete the utility accounts. So, you said 22 that was?
Yeah, it was
22.
It was a 22 budget.
It was decided that the city would back off billing water and sewer so that those funds could grow a little bit. And so what happened was that these bills were not paid.
and they've been showing up as delinquent bills in the utility office. This just gives us the opportunity to clean up that past due amount, and we're paying the utility bills. Departments have that in their budget, and they're paying them like clockwork, but we have this old carryover from 22 that need to be taken care of, and that's what this legislation is all about.
So currently, each of the enterprise funds is paying their electric bills. Okay.
The water and the wastewater.
Okay.
Brian, I think one thing that should be made very clear is, I know you said it, but I want to make sure it's very clear. These are not outstanding balances. This is just cleaning up the books.
Well,
The bills have been paid.
these have not been paid.
The electric that we have used has been paid.
Since 23, yes. This is the electric that was used in 2022.
So this cleans it up, but there would be reoccurring things.
No, it's not.
No,
This
This
was,
is done, yeah.
as an example, the wastewater, the A24-00044-00, which is the last one, $208.42. That bill is roughly $30 a month, and that's being paid every month. But it's, if you think about first in, first out, there's a $204 balance and you had $30. It's just, it's not catching itself up. So it's still showing that, but they have been paid and it is budgeted to be paid.
Yes.
AMP has been paid.
Yes.
Is
Yes.
what you're asking. AMP has
Oh.
Mine, for the bigger picture.
Yeah, we don't owe anything.
Thank you.
Not for another 8
Remember,
days.
that's how we have to think outside of certain
Yeah.
realms
No,
here, so
No.
we're not passing the debt to someone
No,
else. That's
absolutely
not
not.
what we're doing.
Any other discussion?
It's up to, you could do 3 readings if you want.
I was just asking, I didn't know how.
This is not, look, there's no urgency on this. We're gonna get a bill here in the next couple of weeks from the utility office, and it's gonna show this. If you wanna take a couple and listen to the community and talk about it, fair enough. There's no urgency on this whatsoever. Or you can pass it tonight.
Or you can just make it go away. It doesn't change now.
We're gonna
versus
pay
then.
we're gonna pay the March bill when it comes in.
I'll make the motion to suspend the rules for 2026-15.
Mr. Watkins makes the motion for suspension of the rules.
Mr. Gribble.
Mr. Gribble seconds. Roll call.
Mr. Strickler.
Yes.
Mr. Gribble.
Yes.
Mr. Richard.
Yes.
Mr. Watkins.
Yes.
Mr. Woodmansey.
Yes.
Mr. Brown.
Yes. Motion carries, rules are suspended. Now we need any other discussion? I need a motion. Mr. Woodmansey makes the motion to pass ordinance 2026-15. Mr. Richard seconds. Roll call, please.
Mr. Woodmansey.
Yes.
Mr. Richard.
Yes.
Mr. Strickler.
Yes.
Mr. Watkins.
Yes.
Mr. Brown.
Yes.
Mr. Gribble.
Yes. Motion carries. Just a note, this does not have an emergency clause, so it'll be 30 days before it takes effect. Next item on the agenda is ordinance number 2026-16. Phyllis?
Ordinance number 2026-16, entitled Ordinance Amending Section 943.01 of the Codified Ordinances for the City of Galion and repealing inconsistent ordinances or portions thereof and declaring an emergency. This is for the pool.
Discussion. Terry, you were, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not sure where Mr. Gribble should sit in on this one here. And no offense, I'm not facial, but it was brought to our attention that the rates hadn't been changed since about 2014. There has not been a change in the rates. So we did some homework along with the Y to look at rates and try to have something reasonable comparative to other local pools and stuff. So if you look at the top portion, it's what they currently are. And if you look down at the bottom, it's increasing, and it's not a huge increase across the board. You know, nobody wants to raise rates and stuff, but I don't know that it's not putting it into a position where it's not affordable, and it appears that a local jurisdiction is not opening their pool this year, so we suspect that there may be more out-of-town guests at our pool. Hopefully that would be a good thing. I mean, the more the merrier, and the more people that show up to the pool, the less revenue the city ultimately pays back to the YMCA to operate that. This does not affect the splash park. It is still free to go to the splash park. It is the city's burden to pay for that expense, and we are doing that. This is simply the pool, whether they want to come in and pay a daily rate or get a pass, if you will. And I think the Y is expecting to start selling passes sooner than later, because summer will be here before we know it, we hope. But certainly it's there, and it's open for discussion again.
So, Terry, why are we selling passes soon?
Correct.
Okay.
We've had calls and we haven't been able to sell them because we didn't have the rate.
Okay. Because initially I was going to suggest 3 readings because the pool will be open soon. But now, after you said that, I understand it needs to probably.
I don't think you can suspend the rules tonight.
I don't think you have enough votes.
You don't have enough vote.
We don't.
Terry can't vote.
Yeah.
So we have to have a reading and then.
Okay.
So potentially we could get it passed at the next month meeting if Mr. Weber is here. But yeah, I'm not putting words in your mouth, Terry, but I don't think you should vote on this one.
I agree, absolutely, I would absolutely.
I would like to make one comment. When you look at this and you say, what was it, 12 or 14 years? And we're literally gonna take a family of 2 adults and up to 4 children, and it's only going at $15. I think that is, we should not be upset about that little bit of a change, what the cost of everything is, much as it's probably went up in the last 14 years. And we're still able to maintain and keep this pool functioning, as some of the other municipalities are struggling very, very badly with that. And unfortunately, some of them are not able to operate and they're having to close them down. So, yeah, I was shocked that we were making such little adjustment, but I'm also glad that we are doing that for the citizens and the kids and everyone that hopefully is taking advantage of this. So.
And if anybody has any influence, we want, I'm paraphrasing you, an early hot summer. So
It's already hitting now.
Yeah, I mean,
no, it's hinting. We've seen
getting 70 in March.
40 degrees. So. Okay. So we're holding that to the first reading. Next item is ordinance 2026-17.
hold on, I went too far. Ordinance number 2026-17, entitled Ordinance Amending Section 301.485 of the Galion Codified Ordinances as it pertains to tree lawns.
We brought this to committee. This came from Chief Strange, and it's literally just changing wording so that it makes sense. It's the original wording was running. It says to word more. The tree lawn, the street area is lying between the curb and the street right-of-way line, i.e. the sidewalk where one exists, and to the end of the right-of-way where no sidewalk exists, and it's basically changing it to say it's from the edge of the traveled road back to our easement, our right-of-way. It's an opportunity to clarify that up, and for those people that don't have a curb and or a sidewalk, but it says from where the street ends and the grass begins, and then there's an easement back that way, that's the right-of-way, that's the tree lawn, and that's where you can't park or operate. It's just cleaning it up so that it's more usable for the officers in discussing it. It's literally a couple words in that whole sentence, but it's an opportunity to clear up the language.
A point of contention.
Yeah.
Any other discussion? If not, what are you guys going to do?
I mean, I don't feel,
Again, it's,
this is cut and dried, move it on, and would you agree with that?
It doesn't have an emergency.
it doesn't have, it. I would say, let's get this out here. Let's see if we get some feedback from the
Okay.
community. There's no reason to rush everything, and
Yeah.
there is no urgency on this as well. So let's see if you guys get questions on it, or if Ryan gets questions on it, or we get questions on it up at the city hall, we can explain it exactly what it means and stuff. So I think a pause button here is okay.
Perfect.
Good. So, again, we will hold this ordinance to the first reading. Next item is ordinance 2026-18. Julie?
Ordinance number 2026-18 entitled Ordinance Amending Section 351.14 of the Galion Codified Ordinances as it pertains to parking more than 24 hours.
And I brought this to the streets committee, and I will say that I will put the same purpose on this. There's no urgency on this, so let's get some feedback. And this is even simpler than that one. 1951, we passed an ordinance that said you couldn't park more than 24 hours on the street. That's not enough time. If your relatives come into town and you want to drive them around and they park outside of your front yard, front porch and stuff, and they park on the street, if they park now, tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, they're in violation. They're staying for 3 days. This is, to me, just a more sensible approach to it. That you can park there for 3 days. You come in on Friday, you leave on Sunday, and that's not a violation, but it technically would be a violation times 2 if you came on Friday and you didn't leave till Sunday. So I think this allows for a little bit more user-friendly approach to the parking. Yeah.
So you say just pass this on to the second reading?
Yeah. Again, let's see if there's feedback and stuff. I think if there's any questions about what's going on.
Very good. Next item is resolution 2026-8. Julie?
Resolution number 2026-8 entitled Resolution Reappointing Rick Maddox as voting member to the Galion Design Review Board and declaring an emergency.
If I can address all 3 of these, I've had conversations with this one and the next 2 resolutions. As a matter of fact, it's probably a half-an-hour conversation with Ms. Lamb today. Very enthusiastic about staying on board and wants to move forward. All 3 of them. Mr. Maddox was here during the big open conversation, as was Ms. Wilson's been here a couple of times. And they are excited about what you guys are doing and trying to make changes and want to be part of it.
Well, as I look at the first ordinance, 2026-8, the first line has 2 typos, terms, and there's an N that's unrelated. I
Okay,
apologize.
sorry.
I didn't catch those earlier.
Okay, where? Oh, yep. The terms, okay, the term of Mr. Okay.
I don't believe it's present on the other 2. I was just taking another look.
Yeah. Oh, I probably just,
Do we need to make a motion on that, change anything on that?
it probably wouldn't hurt, so,
Need a motion to amend it?
yeah, just the first whereas, remove the end and the S on terms and the N just hanging out there.
I'd like to make a motion to do what Julie said.
There was a motion on the floor to amend the resolution made by Mr. Watkins. Mr. Richard will second. Julie, give us that one more time.
Okay, yeah, it's changing. It's removing the S from terms in the first whereas and removing the N after Maddox before ended.
All right. Everybody understand that? Roll call, please.
Mr. Watkins,
Yes.
Mr. Richard,
Yes.
Mr. Strickler,
Yes.
Mr. Woodmansey.
Yes.
Mr. Brown,
Yes.
Mr. Gribble.
Yes. All right, we now have resolution 2026-8 amended. Do we want to, what do we want to do with this?
We have to,
Mr. Watkins?
Considering the urgency of getting the design review board ready, I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules.
Mr. Watkins makes a motion to suspend the rules.
I'll second that.
Mr. Brown seconds. Julie?
Mr. Watkins,
Yes.
Mr. Brown,
Yes.
Mr. Gribble,
Yes.
Mr. Richard,
Yes.
Mr. Strickler,
Yes.
Mr. Woodmansey.
Yes.
Motion carries, rules are suspended. Now we need a motion to pass Resolution 2026-8. Mr. Richard makes the motion, and Mr. Strickler seconds. Julie?
Mr. Richard?
Yes.
Mr. Strickler?
Yes.
Mr. Watkins?
Yes.
Mr. Woodmansey?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Gribble?
Yes.
All right, motion, the resolution passes. Next is Resolution 2026-9.
Resolution number 2026-9, titled Resolution Appointing Amy Wolf as a voting member to the Galion Design Review Board and declaring an emergency.
All right, discussion. Mr. Richard.
As stated before, we're looking to get this, the design and review board up and running. So I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules on resolution 2026-9.
Mr. Richard makes the motion to suspend the rules. Mr. Gribble seconds. Roll call.
Mr. Richard?
Yes.
Mr. Gribble?
Yes.
Mr. Strickler?
Yes.
Mr. Watkins?
Yes.
Mr. Woodmansey?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Motion carries to suspend the rules. Now we need a resolution, motion made by Mr. Woodmansey to pass 2026-9.
I'll second that.
Mr. Brown seconds. Julie?
Mr. Woodmansey?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Gribble?
Yes.
Mr. Richard?
Yes.
Mr. Strickler?
Yes.
Mr. Watkins?
Yes.
Resolution 2026-9 passes. Next is Resolution 2026-10. Julie?
Resolution number 2026-10, titled A Resolution Appointing Jackie Lamb as a voting member of the Galion Design Review Board and declaring an emergency.
Discussion? We've got the hat trick here. Mr. Brown?
I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules on resolution 2026-10.
Mr. Brown makes the motion to suspend the rules. Mr. Strickler seconds. Roll call.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Strickler?
Yes.
Mr. Watkins?
Yes.
Mr. Woodmansey?
Yes.
Mr. Gribble?
Yes.
Mr. Richard?
Yes.
Motion carries, and now I need a motion to pass Resolution 2026-10. Mr. Strickler makes the motion, and Mr. Watkins seconds. Julie?
Mr. Strickler?
Yes.
Mr. Watkins?
Yes.
Mr. Woodmansey?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Gribble?
Yes.
Mr. Richard?
Yes.
Okay. That's the end of legislation. Item 6 is other business. Nothing,
Go ahead.
committee. What do we got there?
I just have one comment. Next Wednesday during the Economic Development Committee, Becky Lutz and Jessica Karcher is coming in from the Crawford County Chamber of Commerce. Had a nice conversation with her last Friday, and I think there's some tools that we can use to help promote our local businesses and promote local activities. And we have access to all that now. So we'll be talking about that next week on the 18th during the Economic Development Committee meeting at 7.
Where does the tourism fall committee?
We had our special meeting at the Galion Theater. It went really well. I think we had maybe 15, 16 audience participants, and of those, probably 10 of them spoke. So we had great feedback from them, and then from Julie doing a great job of getting it on social media. I mean, you could just tell there's an energy and excitement with plans of
Well, I
renovating the
saw
town.
some comments from specifically Mendy Selman and having the, farmers, that's a big attraction for tourism. Well, so, I wanted to make sure we welcomed them and their input and participation.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that.
One of the best things that came out of that, Mendy's comments were fantastic on social media. Jen Coons had some comments there about including other groups. And we tried to keep reassuring them that, hey, look, this is our starting point.
Right.
This is going to grow. Nobody's being excluded. So as these wonderful ideas come up, whether that be our agriculture friends, whether that be a tourism attraction in a park, nothing's being excluded. It's open to everything. When we talk about uptown, that's just the starting point where we ramp off. So it was exciting, because some of those things I really hadn't thought of, so it's great when they bring it.
I'm really glad that was being videotaped. Sorry about the voice, but Todd and I were at a function of Osiris that night at the Success Center. So I was happy to be able to watch that when I got home that night.
Yeah, I wasn't able to move the cameras around, so I had to
that's
watch their faces the whole time, but I couldn't get it to move. I'm still working on that, so.
Todd, back to what you were talking about there. So are they coming up with like a presentation or just a kind of Q&A or?
Just kind of a Q&A,
Okay,
yeah.
I was just
There's
curious
some
to see.
simple tools right now.
Well, unfortunately, I am going to be out of town next week for the week, so, but I will, as I usually do, I will be listening in, so.
Yeah, I asked them to come in and just talk, 10, 15 minutes about the chamber, their function, and then what tools we can start to utilize. Because as I think about the economic development side, how do we market our town, how do we market our businesses, where we're having successes, and also sharing where there's opportunities to put a new business into town or move into a building. So that's all what's going to help drive.
Do you feel like there's things that have been sitting there on the plate that we just haven't utilized? Or
Absolutely.
they just weren't known about, or people just didn't try to go?
I think both.
Okay.
I think both.
I was just curious. I mean, that was, yeah, just something.
Because if you're a chamber member, there are tools you should know of and you may not be utilizing, but as a community member that's not a chamber, we still have access to go and advertise our local businesses, advertise local activities or events that we have going on in town, and it's free of charge to us.
I think, unfortunately, and this is just my personal take, I think when the chamber had kind of phased out of just Galion, what was it, the Galion Press Line chamber, then it went to the Crawford County, I feel like we lost a little bit of that small town touch that we had.
Yeah, dedicated individual
Yeah,
in the office there.
I hope, like, I would love to see it come back a little bit more
Yeah.
than.
And she Jessica Karcher just recently joined Main Street, so she is getting more involved with the community from a chamber's perspective. And she's looking to see how we can get more involved and promote Galion as a whole.
Yeah, I've always viewed them as a tool. I mean, we have to take the bull by the horns ourselves and go out and promote our town and do what we need to do to fill these buildings and be successful. But they're certainly a great tool that we can use.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, elected officials report. Mrs. Wade?
Yes, I passed out some financial documents. The last 2 pages are a little summary of the city's revenue. So page 3 notes that the targeted revenue is about 16%, and we're at about 15%. Page 4 notes that the expenditures, targeted percent's about 17%, we're at 24%, but that does count both actual expenditures and encumbrances. So I made a little note on there that the expenditures were 12%, the encumbrances were another 12% to come up with that 24%. So, those encumbrances may not be spent for a long time, or they may be liquidated and not spent, but that is a part of that 24% number. Half of it's encumbrances. And then the first 2 pages are statement of cash position, and I marked the general fund and the water fund and the sewer fund and the electric fund. Those funds altogether are about 80% of the city of Galion's finances, and they're intertwined, and they have been for years. So years ago, the city could give itself, free electric, free water, free sewer. The street lights and the traffic lights, that's all, the city giving that to itself also. Once we got into fiscal emergency, the general fund was in dire straits, and so the budgeting was geared to try to beef up the general fund. And so we have now a very healthy general fund, But our problems are with the utilities, and that's on page 2. So I think what was going on was at some point the city decided it would be good if we paid our utility bills, with the exception of the street lighting. And that was attempted, but in that year 22, things were just too tight for the utilities. And right now we have a situation where we've had that philosophy of doing things to enhance the general fund. We need to take a step back and say, hey, we're out of fiscal emergency. The general fund's doing okay. What are we going to do here with the utility funds? And I think that's where we're at. The write-off on those bills from 22 was just something that needed to be done. And every department is getting bills and paying bills at this point. But, like I said, we need to take a look at it. We don't have to have everything done in favor of the general fund anymore because we're not in fiscal emergency. But we need to take a look at doing some other things with the utilities.
And during that time, if I recall, when we were in fiscal emergency, it was very difficult to transfer from the general fund to other funds and in the usual way because of the constraints that the state auditor put on us.
Right.
So we couldn't just, it wasn't a large, like writing a check on your home account. We were under very tight specifications on how we could move the money. So not that I want to be lax with any decisions, but we've got a different little freedom there. So there are things that we can do.
And we talked about the cost allocation as one thing, where we take all of the costs against all of the different funds and then give that money to the general fund. And, again, we're not in fiscal emergency anymore. We don't need to be doing that. The other thing that I should bring up, years ago, we funded our parks through the general fund. We funded our parks through the recreation fund, which is the tax levy the voters voted for, so we could have nice parks. And then also through the Freeze Foundation. And when we first went into fiscal emergency, Belinda Miller, the financial supervisor, said, Galion is going to have the nicest parks around because we had all that extra funding, general fund, parks, recreation fund, and freeze fund. But that too got eroded in favor of the general fund. And so you guys kind of inherited that budget. But then this year, we can talk about budgeting and, maybe kind of rectifying that situation. Because years ago, we did have really good funding sources for the parks.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Roy.
Treasurer Pittman, anything to report? Good. Mr. Bear.
I have a little bit of research. I've been working on something that's been asked by a few people. I got a couple statutes for you guys, RC 73103 and 3309.
Thank you.
So I know a few of you have asked, obviously in the last election, we had quite a bit of turnover, which is great to have new people, but I know there's also been concerns about continuity. If you were to look at the last election with blinders on and not see some of the other experience, I think for the people who've continuously been in spots in the city, I believe Mr. Richard is the senior member, and then technically, if you ignore everything else, I come in second at 1 year. But you ignore the fact of, obviously, Council President, you have prior experience with the city. The mayor was the auditor and then the police chief. We had the council president become a ward member. And I know I was out at the water treatment plant when it was built in the 80s. I know the auditor was the auditor then.
You have to tell them that.
but I won't go over to understand. You have to have experience in addition. But if you look at it.
It's true.
If you look at it blindly, you think the entire city administration could pretty much flip over with no one who has any experience in a single election. So there have been questions about how would you change it. I haven't seen anything for the officials that would change the terms, but there's basically two statutes. It would ultimately go to the voters of the city of Galion, a statutory city. So there is one for the council president that basically says, do you change it to from 2 years to 4 years, or possibly back? And then, because there's just one of you, there's no real question of staggering. So if it went to the voters, he'd be on the ballot. Would next election, would it be for a 4-year term? The city council is similar, but slightly different because there's multiple of you. And again, it would be a majority. You put it on the ballot and let the voters decide. I do have a pending question in with the Board of Elections. I've looked through some of their forms. I don't see a specific form for this, but I want to try to get feedback. There is if they tell me no, we go through, you guys decide you want to do it, they go through the resolution, we send it to them, and then they say, well, here's the mystery form you never knew. I don't think that will happen. There's a chance. This would go, if you did it, it doesn't have to be done tomorrow, but it'd be the thing we want to get to that Board of Elections far enough in advance that it would get on the November ballot, would be my thought, if that's what you want to do. You can choose to dice up the individual council members any way you want, but if you wanted to go this year, one thing I would think about maybe doing, you put the council, it'd be two different issues. Would the council president switch to a 4-year term? And I think what would make most sense, so people aren't confused, take the council at large positions, make them run for 4-year terms next election, and then you would take each of the ward seats and say, the wards next election run for one more 2-year term, and then 2 years later, you'd stagger it, then it becomes 4-year terms. That way you're either one election you're voting for your council president and 3 at-larges, and then the following election will be most of your, and the treasurer, and then the remaining elected officials plus 4 council seats. Thus it'd keep it about even. You could in theory dice it however you want. It was just in my head that seemed to be a way to keep it even. I don't have any legislation yet, partially because I'm waiting on the Board of Elections, but I know it's something that multiple people brought to my attention, and I wanted to bring you guys at least some degree of answer. How would you facilitate this? Who would do it? It'd be you first, and then the voters, so I'm also trying to speak specifically to the voters. This just makes it, the idea is if you want this, if your council people want this, and you ultimately do, it makes it so that a single election doesn't flip the entire council to have no institutional knowledge whatsoever. I understand the idea of new people coming. It's great to have new people who want to get involved, but there's a point when if no one knows what's going on, no one knows how it's run, there is a learning curve to working in government. That's the difference between what I will call the career public servant and the pejorative career politician. The idea is the first time you come in, if you've never been involved with government or moved into an organization, there's a learning curve. There's things that are odd, weird, and after a while you learn. So I think if this is what you guys want to do, this would be a way to do it. And I think for the voters' sake, to understand why the staggered 4-year terms might be useful is that it would help preserve some level of institutional knowledge while letting new people run on a regular basis without the risk of everyone being new all at once and no one knowing how to run.
So can I make a quick comment?
Certainly.
So when I worked on changing this back to a statutory form of government, I staggered the auditor and the treasurer. 4-year terms, but staggered, so.
Mr. Bear, would you suggest that once you hear back from the Board of Elections and stuff, that this go to laws and ordinance if we decided to act on this? Because I
think this should be a council as a whole discussion.
No, well,
Go to laws and ordinances.
Go to your committee. And
I think laws and ordinances would be a perfectly reasonable committee to send this to.
Yes.
I'm seeing, and then like I said, I just wanted to bring you guys the basic research of how you do it, because it would be I think if you do it, it'd be 2 ballot issues at the same time. Switch the council president, and then like I said, you could dice up the individual council members however you wanted. I just initially throw out the idea of put the at-larges with the council president getting you 4, and then 4 on the other side.
I think you did an excellent job. Exactly the way you laid it out sounds perfect to me.
Well, and we have to act so that we get it on the ballot this November, because we can't wait until after the first of the year to get it on the 20th.
This is 90 days prior, right?
Yeah, so that's the idea of, like I
But
said,
we can't change it on the 27th.
No, I understand.
vote. We gotta, so.
we would want to pass it in 26 to make it effective. And if we did it this way, we put both ballot issues on this year and they were approved, it would mean, like I said, if you go the way that I'm describing, it would be the council president and the at-larges would run for 4-year terms. Each of the wards would run for 1 more 2-year term, and then 2 years from now, you guys have 4-year terms, and the ward members would run for their first 4-year term, creating a stacker from that.
Just write it up. Just write it up, I like it. Good work.
In the past, I mean, we had that when there was a city manager form, and when it changed, I was surprised that it was a 2-year, and I mean, it just, this makes a lot of sense. Mr. Brown?
So question, so there'd be 2 ballot issues we would pass to get on the November ballot this year.
Yes.
So for council president and council at larges, and then the following year, we will put it on the ballot for.
No,
but start.
That's their question. So what you would do, if I may, I'll just say one more time, for the council president, you would have to put a ballot issue making the council president a 4-year term.
Yes.
Then for council, if you went with the way I'm suggesting, which I think there seems to be a lot of agreement, you would put it on, the ballot issue would say, you're gonna switch to 4-year terms, and you're gonna stagger them by, I'm gonna say, put the 3 at-larges on for 4 years. That you would have, to create the stagger, you would have the ward seats run for 1 final 2-year term, and then 2 years later, they would run for 4-year terms. I know it's a little.
It would all be in
So
that same.
All that language would be
Yes.
one ballot issue, fixing all of
Yes.
the individual council member terms, however you got it.
The nice thing about that is, at the very most, including council president, there could only be 4 turnover at a time.
Yeah.
It could be this side, us 3 and that, or
Yeah.
that side. At any given time, you've got hopefully experience sitting there at the table with you with a seasoned mayor that's gonna stay there for quite some time.
No, I agree for sure. Yeah, I agree that that's.
He already tried retirement, it didn't work, so he's just gonna do this.
So when we changed back the statutory form of government, it was strictly, 2-year terms, and then the 4-year terms that were in the statute. The only thing that was optional was setting the treasurer on the off period of time, so the treasurer and the auditor would be staggered. But other than that, you had to go with everybody's terms like they are. So.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Thanks, Michael. Thank you. I'll try to keep it fairly brief. I'm sure that people have heard, and the word is out there. The unfortunate news we got that Life Touch will be closing by the end of the year. It's roughly 88 jobs. I can say that we, as an administration, have already reached out to the Crawford Partnership, who in turn has reached out to Ohio Means Jobs, and is going to work diligently with Life Touch and those employees that are affected to try to find them a job or try to get something going on. So that process is in the works, and McKenna has been very good to work with that, and was on top of it right away. It is that time of year for utility disconnects. There's a lot of them out there potentially going to hit on Thursday. So in case you get phone calls, you can't fix their problem, contact Ms. Ward or the utility office, and we'll try to work with people as best as we can. Yeah, we don't shut people off November, December, January, February. Pay bill. It sounds cruel, but it's not. It's.
What is the number down to?
It's a little over 300. We were at 760 letters went out of people that were over 60 days delinquent. And the number was over $500,000. So we're working diligently to get that back. And we're working with people the best we can with it, so.
And Community Action has some
Community,
funding?
yes, there are several places to go, and Nikki is really good with trying to direct people into that direction. But they're still skin in the game on some of these things. Community Action doesn't pay your whole bill, they pay some of it or a portion of it, but you still skin in the game.
Utility clerks have been working really hard. They
Yes.
made 700 phone calls after a letter. They called everyone on the list with reminders. 5 months of delinquent utility bills and a reminder letter. They called everyone to remind them they had to pay by Wednesday. But we still have between 350 and 400 people paid. So they've worked really hard to get that number down.
Great job with design review and moving forward. You guys are doing an outstanding job, and thanks for getting those people on there. And there's at least 2, if not 3 applications now. So you need to do that. Mr. Barrett, great job on the research on this election stuff. It's stuff that's been talked about, and we're moving in the right direction. I did have a good meeting with the Freeze Foundation, and we received a check for $355,000 already this year. This is last year's money, so we're still working on this year's money, but that process is working. And so when you look at your freeze money there, just add money to that. So they're working very well with us on that. And I'm going to end on this. If you don't know it, the hardest working person we have in the city is right over there. And she needs your thanks. Yeah. So, I thank you. Thank you, sir.
The one with the red hair and the red face. I don't have. I'm sorry?
May I have a question about the electric bill?
Sure.
Is there, we have a lot of citizens, and is there any way that a lot of citizens could take one of those bills? Tell me the range they're in, like from $100 to $5,000?
Yes.
Seriously, I mean, you know, yeah, okay.
We have several customers that have not paid since October, August, September, and they wonder, I get it, why is my bill so high? It compounds, and there are no late fees. We haven't hit that, but we get it, and we understand that things are tough, but at the same time, things are tough on our end as well. And if you look at the funds, and we talked about that, we talked about the cost of that allocation and stuff, but you take $500,000 off our bottom line, and we're still paying the bills. We're still putting the chemicals in the water, and we're treating the sewer, and we're paying the electric bill.
But I can personally come up and pay for somebody else's bill.
Sure.
I mean, I don't need to know their name or anything. Okay, I didn't know if it was legal. is what I'm
I
asking.
don't see why not.
I don't,
Gift.
yeah, I mean, we wouldn't be able to give you specific account information for
Yeah.
someone.
If you came up with your neighbor and you wanted to write a check on behalf of your neighbor,
Okay.
thank
We've
you.
done a lot in the church. When I was a church secretary, numerous ministers always did that.
Yes.
Absolutely. No questions asked.
Yes.
I got one. I lived in a community for 38 years, and in my residences, it was in South Florida. Water was a very precious commodity. Used to come down from Lake Okeechobee, and water bills were pricey there. One of the things that the city offered an option to the community was you could have a second meter on your house. And for people who had pools or gardens or watered their yard, they didn't dispose of that water into the sewer. Those rates for their entire water bill were less because it wasn't sewer water anymore.
I can address part of that. So if you have a pool and you contact the utility office, they will give you a credit on your sewer.
Okay.
So that we already have something like that in place. Not so much for water in your yard, but it is certainly for if you have a pool in your backyard, whether it's a 10-foot pool, a 15-foot, an in-ground pool, whatever it is, when you fill it up in the spring, you do get that credit one time, annually on your sewer rate.
If you do have an irrigation system, we do have that option.
You do? Oh, good.
So.
Oh, good. You know, you would have to pay, of
Sure,
course.
you pay for the water.
Yeah, you
but
pay
you're
for
not
the
paying for the
water,
sewer.
but and you don't pay for the sewer, but you pay also for the installation of the second meter.
Oh.
Yes.
You know,
that's an option.
you have that too?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. Maybe we could drum up some sales. You know? I mean, little extra revenue income for water meters for, saving the sewer rate, keeping it down. Might be a plan.
All right, thank you very much. May I have a motion for adjournment, which Mr. Strickler is
Motion
making?
to adjourn?
Second?
I'll second.
Mr. Gribble, hoarse voice and all. All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned.
8:34.
I think we're getting better.